There's a lot of us out there that actually hold our stuff back because we don't think we're ready. I know a lot of people who collect information like it's gold, and that's a good thing, but to not act on it really means that you're never willing to really put yourself on the line and try something. My father learned everything there is to know about bass fishing, but the amount of times he actually went fishing paled in comparison to the amount of days he spent learning about things to do when he's fishing in order to catch the most fish. Now, I have to think about, why is this the case? Probably because learning requires less effort than doing. It also requires less criticism than doing. It requires less results than doing. You just sit there, you learn. That's why learning is great. I'm not diminishing it. You should learn every day. You should want to learn every day. But you can't neglect the doing, the actually doing the thing. So somebody left a great comment about how one day when they know more, they're going to then attack all their songs. They got tons of songs on a hard drive. I've heard this from a few people, actually. It's not just one person. But this as a concept, myself included, I got tons of stuff on a hard drive. But this is the point: to wait on that until we know more or we're in a position to really do it justice. That's going to prevent you from ever being in a position to really do it justice. Just attack the stuff and finish it. The way I look at this is like, basically, you're out in the middle of the ocean and you need to follow, like if you get a wave, you get lucky enough to get a wave, you can get back to shore very quickly. And let's say shore is the finish line where you're happy with your work. It's going to take you forever to swim back to shore if you're out in the middle of the ocean. But if you happen to catch a wave, you might be able to get there quick. Now, this is true in the big kind of omni sense, but it's also true when we break things down on a song-by-song basis. When you feel the most connected to your song is usually immediately after it's written and it's finished and there's a priority to record it. That's why you have to give yourself a deadline. Having no deadline inevitably means you won't finish it. Because as hard as it is to start working on stuff that we find to be like our creative baby, it's hard to work on that. And it's even harder to finish it, probably twice as hard, if not more, to actually finish it. Because then once it's finished, it will be judged by us, ourselves. Didn't mean to keep banging this thing. By us, we're going to judge it. The public's going to judge it. People who hear it will judge it. And no matter what decisions you make creatively, the judging, just yourself judging that thing, is going to hold you back from finishing it. Also, caring enough about it to want it to be as great as possible often falls into caring too much. Have you ever heard of a band that has, and if you probably done this to your own song, if you're a band or an artist who writes stuff, you have a favorite song out of 6 or 8 you may record, and for some reason, the one that's your favorite, you consider it the most precious. Like, that's the one you need it to be great, needs to be amazing. Well, once you've recorded those 8 songs, how often is that one that you thought was the precious thing, that one always comes out the worst? And then the one that you hated the most, or was a throwaway, just an addition to the album, is now the best in terms of after it's recorded. A lot of that has to do with how precious it is to you. When you're making art, the boldness and the courage that it takes to make good art means that really nothing can be precious. You have to be willing to take chances, to mess it up in order to make it as great as it can be. And as soon as you have something that in your mind is so special that you care so much about it, you're actually going to wind up hurting it. And that's something that happens in life too. People who care too much about things, you squeeze it too hard, you take the life right out of it. The daringness and the courageousness to have your vision, but then also be willing to take chances is the magic chemistry, and you need the right amount of all of it. If you care too much about the thing you're working on, right, I find it makes it really hard to finish, and then I say to myself, I wish this was better. It's not as good as I can do. Let me keep working on it. Soon it'll get there, which inevitably means it never gets finished. Now, for people like me, and there's a lot of us that do what I do, which is we care too much. That's what I would say. Now, you could use other words. There's only so many words in the English language. Some people might say, oh, you can't care too much. Well, that's what I mean by misinterpreting what I'm saying. Caring too much, in my view, is what I do when I sit on something until all the stars align within what I'm doing. I could get a lot further with everything I'm doing if I were to just finish it, because odds are the songs that haven't been written yet by me, the ones that are in the future, are the ones that might actually be the things I need to work on, and I will never get there if I don't finish this group of songs from back in the day. And I won't finish the back in the day ones because they're too important to me to mess them up. And I want to be as good as I can. And I want to have the best speakers I can. And I want to, know as much as I can before I touch them. So as a result, I stagnate myself. So this is what people do all the time. And that, in my opinion, means if you just cared a little less, you'd get further down the line. You'd get better because you would have finished more things. Whether you failed at them or not, doesn't matter. You'll keep failing until you basically break the spell of you failing, and now you know how to do stuff better. Without finishing, you never get there. So for me, caring less is a helpful thing. I'll give you a good example too. Yesterday, I dropped a video about I have to do a voiceover recording, and I don't consider myself a voice actor. So I did a passage like 3 times, and it was the first take of the video, and I just ran it 3 times, and I put it out. Now, when I watched it back, I was like, that's cool. It's fine. It's good. I'm glad I put it out. Now, if I were to judge my voice acting skills from the point of view of somebody where like, ooh, I really hope Quentin Tarantino sees this and I got to make it perfect so that he sees it. And if he does, he'll cast me in a movie, or Martin Scorsese, or like, this is my life depends on this voice acting video I put up. I'd never put up that video. But this is what I'm trying to say. Whether that video does anything good or only gets to 2 people, it doesn't even matter. The fact that I was caring at the right amount of caring, which means enough to do it, but not enough to hold myself back from actually finishing it and putting it up, I'm able to get to the next project, the next thing. And I will have done something that I never really did before, which is any sort of voice acting, anything. So that gets you further. There's like a magic. It's like you care too much. Now you're going down on the seesaw. Whereas caring to a certain point is great, but there's a line there where you care too much and it holds you back. Now, for the people who don't care enough, this is going to be very easily misinterpreted, because if you don't care so much that it keeps you up at night, you don't sleep some days, like if you're not at that level, you probably don't get what I'm saying. And maybe you could stand to care a little more. It's possible. I don't know you, but I don't have the problem of not caring enough. I have the too much care problem. And I think I can relate to those people a lot. So I'm trying to help those people. If you aren't putting enough work to do a mix every couple days or every other day, or at least try to get one done in that time frame, if you're not seeking out tracks to do that too, free multi-tracks you could download to then work on, or if you or you have your own stuff, so you got plenty to work on. If you're not really doing that and putting the fire under you to keep doing that consistently, then you're probably someone who might stand to care a little more. But if you're somebody who can't ever finish anything, then you probably, I would say, think about it like you might care too much, and a little less caring about the result of how good it is or not. A little less might actually be beneficial for you. A little less caring about what other people think, a little less emphasis on how, it's going to ruin your life, or it's going to make this song terrible now, you're going to have to do it again in the future. A little less caring about possibilities that may never occur or happen, and a little more caring about the present and what you make of today. Because if you get the most out of every day, you will feel better as a person. You will be happier, just getting the most out of it. Your brain knows you did or not. You can't lie to it. You can't trick it. It knows when you beat yourself up over the same song for days and days and days, and it will start to tell you things that will make you sad and make you miserable unless you actually get things done. And it doesn't matter what happens. The results don't matter. It's just the getting it done. It doesn't matter if 1 million people see it or two people. Doesn't matter. just getting the things done will make this work better. So if you want to get the most out of yourself, consider everything I'm saying and figure out which side of that seesaw you're on. And when you do have great stuff, you ride the wave back to the shore. So you have a great song, it's a great idea, you write it, you love it, you're connected to it. Get it done with urgency so that you can move on to the next thing. Because do you know how many amazing things we have in this world today? Because people realize that they could easily overcook things. Like Brendan O'Brien used to say, I'll get bored if we work on this for too long, so let's get it done. We got to get it done quick because that's when the fire's hot and that's when you could do your best work. It's no secret, or I think it's actually, or maybe it is a secret, why guys like Serban produce so many great mixes consistently, because they got in a habit of doing things quickly, trusting their instincts, and having all the work coming in means you can do that more easily. So it's not a steady curve. The more work you wind up getting, the easier it is to do great work. When you have no deadline and you don't have constant people paying you to do stuff, the harder it is to do great work. So being great just kind of emphasizes itself at a certain point. It's like a tipping point. So just do stuff constantly, riding that wave in every time, because otherwise you're basically swimming back from the middle of the ocean. I just want everyone to realize that's what you're doing. And you're dragging stuff with you. It's not an easy swim. Whereas if you ride the wave, you could be back to shore, and now you catch another wave and go the other way. You're surfing all over the place, and you're having more fun. Let's face it. Surfing's probably fun. I've never done it, but I've done wakeboarding. Wakeboarding's fun, but I've never surfed. So anyway, I think we get it. I think we get the point. Throw a comment in there. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.